We kick off our journey in the American heartland with the Oklahoma onion burger. At first glance, it might look simple, but its cooking technique makes it a true flat-top masterpiece. The defining feature of this burger is paper-thin, almost translucent sliced onions. These onions aren't added as a topping after the meat is cooked. Instead, they are smashed directly into the raw beef patty the moment it hits a scorching hot griddle. As the cook presses the meat flat against the cast iron, the onions become embedded in the beef. While the patty sears and develops a crispy crust, the rendered beef fat cooks the onions at high heat, sweetening and caramelizing them while infusing the meat with incredible flavor. This style dates back to the 1920s during the Great Depression. Beef was expensive and hard to come by in large quantities. So diner cooks in Oklahoma discovered that by piling cheap onions onto a smaller portion of meat and smashing them together, they could stretch the patty into a substantial, juicy meal that working-class customers could actually afford. What started as an economic necessity became an enduring regional legend. Moving north to the Twin Cities of Minnesota, we find the famous Juicy Lucy. It looks like a standard cheeseburger on the outside, but the real magic is hidden within. Rather than melting a slice of cheese on top of the cooked beef, the Juicy Lucy features a core of cheese sealed entirely inside two thin, raw meat patties before hitting the grill. As the burger cooks, the molten cheese melts from the inside while the beef sears on the outside. The result is a delicious surprise. With your first bite, hot, gooey cheese bursts from the center. It requires a bit of patience and caution since that molten center gets extremely hot during cooking. The Juicy Lucy comes with one of the most famous food feuds in the region. Two historic bars in Minneapolis, Matt's Bar and the 5-8 Club, have argued over who invented the concept since the 1950s. While one insists on the original spelling without an I, Juicy Lucy, the other claims to have perfected the formula. This friendly rivalry has lasted for generations, drawing food lovers from all over the world to try both and cast their vote. Our third stop takes us to the Deep South, specifically northern Mississippi, for a burger with a truly unusual name, the Slug Burger. Despite what the name might sound like, it has absolutely nothing to do with garden pests or mollusks. A slug burger is made from a patty of beef or pork blended with an inexpensive extender, traditionally cornmeal, soy flour, or breadcrumbs. Once shaped, instead of being grilled or smashed on a flat top, the entire patty is deep-fried in hot oil until the exterior turns super crispy while the inside remains soft and tender. It's typically served on a soft bun with pickles, chopped onions, and mustard. The name comes straight from its historical price tag. In the early 20th century, 5-cent coins, nickels, were slangily referred to as slugs. Since this budget-friendly patty sold for exactly 1 nickel, locals dubbed it the Slug Burger. Today, it remains a point of local pride in northern Mississippi, complete with annual festivals celebrating its place in Southern food history. Heading to Wisconsin, a state famous nationwide for its rich dairy culture, we encounter the unapologetically decadent Butter Burger. There are no shortcuts or diet considerations here. High-quality butter shares equal top billing with the beef. There are 2 traditional ways a butter burger is prepared in Wisconsin. In some classic joints, the beef patty is seared directly on a flat top heavily greased with fresh farm butter. In others, the burger is grilled normally, but right before serving, a generous slab of butter is placed directly on top of the hot patty, allowing it to melt over the meat and soak into the toasted bun. This creation is a direct reflection of Wisconsin's identity as America's Dairyland. The combination of rich, salted butter and a seared, savory patty creates a velvety texture and deep flavor that local diners and regional chains have celebrated for more than half a century. Heading southwest into the desert of New Mexico, we find a regional icon centered around a local agricultural staple, the green chili cheeseburger. This isn't just a burger with a little spice tossed on as an afterthought, it is a cultural institution across the state. The burger features a well-seasoned beef patty topped with a massive heap of flame-roasted, peeled, and chopped hatch green chilies. A slice of cheese, usually cheddar or Monterey Jack, is melted directly over the chilies, binding the spicy, smoky peppers to the meat. Hatch chilies are grown exclusively in New Mexico's Hatch Valley, where the soil and climate produce a distinct balance of heat, sweetness, and smokiness. The autumn harvest is such a major event that communities across the state hold festivals where fresh chilies are roasted outdoors in large tumbling drums, filling the air with an unmistakable aroma. Continuing through the American South, we find a regional favorite that swaps standard cheese slices for a classic Southern staple, the pimento cheeseburger. Instead of American or cheddar slices, this burger is slathered with pimento cheese spread, a creamy concoction made from shredded sharp cheddar cheese, mayonnaise, diced pimento peppers, and a touch of seasoning. When placed on a freshly grilled hot beef patty, the cold spread warms up into a tangy, rich, and gooey sauce that coats every single bite. Throughout the South, pimento cheese is a beloved comfort food, often affectionately referred to as the caviar of the South. Virtually every family and diner boasts their own secret recipe, adjusting the texture, tanginess, or heat level, making every pimento cheeseburger a slightly different experience depending on where you order it. Over on the West Coast, California popularized a thin patty style that revolutionized fast food and diner culture, the animal-style smash burger. This style relies on ultra-thin beef patties smashed hard onto a screaming hot griddle to achieve lacy, crispy edges. The signature animal-style touch happens on the grill. Mustard is squirted directly onto the raw side of the patty before it's flipped, searing the mustard right into the crust. It's finished with extra spread, a tangy mayonnaise-based sauce, grilled caramelized onions, pickles, and melted American cheese. What started as a custom order on an off-menu secret list at 1950s California drive-thrus eventually became a global phenomenon. Today, chefs and home cooks worldwide copy this technique to get that perfect balance of crunch, savory sear, and tangy sauce. Finally, we travel across the Pacific Ocean to the islands of Hawaii for a dish that barely looks like a burger at all, yet shares the same core soul, the loco moco. Unlike traditional burgers, the loco moco strips away the bun entirely. It's served in a bowl or on a plate, starting with a base of warm white rice. A juicy beef patty is set on top of the rice, completely smothered in rich brown gravy and topped off with a fried egg, usually cooked sunny-side up so the runny yolk mixes into the gravy and rice. The loco moco was invented in the late 1940s at a small eatery in Hilo, Hawaii. A group of local teenagers playing sports wanted something fast, inexpensive, and deeply filling to refuel after practice. The cook combined simple comfort food ingredients into one plate, creating an iconic island staple that remains popular for breakfast, lunch, or late-night meals.